Hello and welcome back to the channel, and we continue with our traveler character generation process. We had reached a stage of term 2 in the already eventful career of Saria Junand, our female merchant apprentice. She's now a 4th officer. And I suppose one of the things you need to take into account with these characters as they start their journey is that they're only 18-year-olds. They're supposedly, I would consider them probably quite young and impressionable, maybe idealistic, ambitious, excited about the prospects ahead of them, enthusiastic to get on with their careers. These initial personalities that we had determined for them, they're probably pretty raw at this stage. They haven't really been honed by experience. So the fact that we've got for Saria, she's an independent character. Maybe she likes to be working on her own. She's a bit of a self-starter. Some of these are good traits for getting on in life, but also you need to be a team player too. And maybe the experience that she has will kind of soften the edges of probably what is initially in your young life at 18 is kind of amped up to a more unrefined and less mature outlook in life. So basically what I'm saying is that their personalities, not only with their personalities, as with their service history, it will evolve as we build a picture of each of these characters. And we were left with a bit of a picture of Saria. And I think the way to kind of reflect on that is that I think her term 1 deviance was probably more, when you think of it, she had a close shave. It wasn't really the fact that she wasn't re-enlisted into the Merchant Marine, but she had a bit of a run-in, maybe a reprimand, and I would say that's maybe the cause of that, with these factors that we've already uncovered. Was caused by maybe the environment that she was in, maybe the captain of the ship got involved in less than legal activities, potentially smuggling, and she was exposed to maybe one of the cargoes was narcotics as the contraband, and due to kind of peer pressure, maybe she was pushed into sampling some of their cargo. So she's been exposed to this peer pressure. I would say that within the Merchant Marine itself, there are individuals that kind of keep their eyes out across the different captains, the different ships operating in the fleet. And she had a mentor who saw the potential of Saria, gave her a second chance. He said, clean up your act. She goes to rehab, gets a bit of quality time by herself, and he says, right, the best thing for me to do is to assign you to a new ship. So she joins with a new captain for term 2. It's a fresh start. Might be the last chance, but that's kind of where we are with Saria. And hopefully, we can get this type of thing going with all the characters. A bit of, I've only done 1 term with Saria, and already we've got a bit of a story with her. She's had a lucky escape there, maybe with the wrong type of people. In the process, she's built up maybe a rather lucrative skill of bribery, but she's maybe learned a life lesson. Okay. So I think we can bash on with the character creation, and hopefully by the end of this session have at least one character fully fleshed out, And there's always the risk that they don't make it. But I think with the re-enlistment and the survival roles for merchants, we shouldn't really be heading towards too much trouble. What's the idea? So we had re-enlisted. The only thing that we need to do in this... Oh, by the way, I've decided to just revert back to the grid because I think I got one of the subscribers saying, I really miss the grid. And I was thinking about it, and I wanted a kind of distinct kind of feel to the traveller thing. So I thought, and I also thought, well, what might be quite nice is I have a number of science fiction. I showed you a sample of some of the science fiction games I had. And I thought, well, why don't, just as kind of a guest star turn sometime, bring out the board and use that as the backdrop for, things I've got a fantastic one, Star Force Alpha Centauri, and it's this big star map of the kind of local space around Earth, Terra. It's got Sol in the middle, and it's got these other things. I thought that would be quite nice. Have maybe when we're going through hyperspace or something. And then I've got the Star Soldier one, which is kind of like a kind of planetary surface. I've got a couple of your Quinto games. I've got one called Space Marines, or Marine 2002, and that's got a lunar landscape. And I thought, ooh, that'd be quite nice to have occasionally. And there's the other one, Shooting Stars, which was kind of like fighter-to-fighter combat in space, where you have your space fighters, and you had this console, great big sheet, where you would have all your different instrumentation panels. And I thought, that might be quite a nice backdrop at one stage too. So I'm toying with all those kind of ideas. I've got other games again on the go. This will be the stock one, I think. To me, it was, my complaint about it being table clutter was a bit of a kind of first world problem. I thought, come on, Brian, stop being a bit of a pathetic shark about it. You can rough it for the channel, so I'm gonna do that. And I think it's quite nice to just give a distinctive theme to these particular episodes. And make it distinctive from the AD&D one, where I can keep the rugged table look. And one of the subscribers had an interesting suggestion that, well, why doesn't that could represent the tables in the Green Dragon? They're kind of rough and covered in stains and that sort of thing. So maybe that's the atmospheric look I can have encapsulated in the AD&D one. So I've completely gone off tangent. So let's get back to the Merchant Marine. We're on the second term. So what I need to do first is the survival role. Great. So we've realized that Saria needed a 5+ normally. She has an intelligence of 8, so she gets a DM of +2, so it's a 3+ to survive. So, this is the other thing I've got. I found my my Traveller dice roller. It's got the official colours, the red and the black. So I'm going to use that. So we'll get the old dice roller going. We get an easy survival. Again, nothing too strenuous on this tour. Probably just plying the space lanes, getting settled into our new ship. Quite happy little venture. We don't need to do a commission this time because we've already commissioned to 4th officer. So let's go for our promotion. We won't get the intelligence, the +1 DM, because we don't have a high enough intelligence. Unfortunately, there's only 8. So we need a 10+ to get promoted. So let's see what we get. An 8. So it's not too. It's pretty close. Maybe we sat the 3rd officer exams. Didn't quite go our way, or potentially there was another candidate that was more qualified and took our position. So unfortunately, we didn't really do anything there. We do earn, in the process, we earn, upon each term that we stay with the merchants, we get 1 skill. So because we haven't had anything else special, yes, there's nothing else that we've done. We haven't been promoted. If we've been promoted, we've already got a skill. We just get 1. So I'll roll on that just now before we re-enlist. Excuse me. And we've got the choice of the personal development, the service skills, the advanced education, and then the special advanced education, where we have a high education, 8+. I think I'll go for this table because we neglected that last time. Let's see, there's some interesting things there. Streetwise is quite a nice one to pick up. Let's see what Saria was exposed to in her 2nd term. And this means that she'll be 26 by the end of this. Starting to storm her way through her 20s. We get a 2. That is mechanical. Okay. So make a quick note of that. She must have got involved in, definitely into ship's operations there. All the bits and pieces of equipment in a busy merchant vessel. So maybe heavy lifting gear and that type of stuff. Cargo handling. If you think of that Aliens film and Sigourney Weaver, she's got that that fork. It's not like a forklift, but it's almost like a powered suit with the big things that come out. The almost like the mandible hand things that she uses. Maybe she gets to operate things like that. She's doing that kind of thing. And also in the repair and maintenance of things, bits of equipment like that. So, that's quite a nice skill to have. We come to the all-important re-enlistment role. And I would say that she's still keen to carry on. She's only just missed 3rd officer last time, so she thinks, if I keep my nose clean, nice quiet career, I can do the business next time. So we have a 4+ to re-enlist. So we get the score. Get my shaker. Oh, you've seen it here. 3. Excuse me. I think I'm overwhelmed by what happened there. So we don't re-enlist. So after all that promise, so we're going to have a nice short. So that's a nice short character thing. So let's see the reason why we don't re-enlist. So obviously, maybe the life lessons has potentially not really sunk in, and potentially her independent streak, her maybe her bucking of authority, her wanton disregard for protocol, could be reasons why we have this dreadful table, the re-enlistment role failure table, D1 to 6. So let's see what the dreaded reason is. If she'd had a high re-enlistment positive role, we have all sorts of nice stuff. The character is in demand, war has been declared, business is booming, opportunities are opening, a new division is being created, a breakthrough in the field needs expertise. A nice promising kind of drawback to the career. But no, she's been booted out. And what reason? Oh, here we go. Well, that's okay. So it's not really personal. It's down to hard times, an economic downturn, recession, and maybe some cutbacks. So I would say they're all kind of the same, same aspects of the coin. I think it's a bit of a hard time. maybe some of the sectors are suffering from dislocation. Maybe there's some pirate activity or some local disruption. You know, what was very good space lanes are having a bit of a hard time. Just a general economic downturn, like anything that we experience on our planet. So that's sad. Economic downturn, put that there. But at least she's out of her addiction. She's no longer highly dependent on narcotics. She's learned that life lesson. So we'll just have to take that as it is. You know, she's come out with you know, we've got the opportunity now, because we follow the mustering out process, because we failed our re-enlistment. She's now, we can put her age in, she's now 26. She's served 2 terms. So, per term of service, the muster out benefits, we get 1. So she will get 2 mustering out benefits. And what we do is we roll on these tables. And you have 2 tables. You can either have the benefits table, or you can have the cash table. And you can have combinations of both. I think if you have a lot, there's a limit on how many cash ones you can take. But I would say that I think at this stage, she probably, let's see what she gets on the benefits first, because we do have some nice ones here. You know, she could do with maybe some of these items. But then the merchants, they do get, it's quite lucrative what they can get. Let's go maybe one on each. That would probably be the best bet. So we'll go for the benefit first. See what we get. See what we can salvage from this blighted career. 1. Okay, well we could have done with that before. It's +1 intelligence. You know, because if we'd had an intelligence of 9, because we've got an intelligence of 8, that would have helped us with the promotion. You imagine if we'd got that promotion, 1 more, it might not have stopped us getting kicked out. So let's have a +1 here. So that becomes 9. So that's our first mustering out benefit. Must be in some form of, I suppose, I don't know how they would do the intelligence. I suppose maybe you have some special consultants come in and they help you with your cognitive skills, or you got put through some psychometric testing or something. Who knows? Obviously, as a future society, there's maybe have some techniques that they can plug you into some computer, and it can maybe download information, heighten your intellectual capacity. Yes, your answers on a postcard on that one, and I think we'll do some cash, because unless there's anything here that would strike. Oh, I think I've read the wrong line. Oh, it's a low passage. Oh, it's not intelligence. Oh, that's a shame. I should have been concentrating. I read the wrong line. Well, that is a shame. So, low passage. Well, we can convert that into cash, because it's kind of useless, the low passage. There's a whole story about low passages, and if we do get enough of them and we come across that, I'll go into it. They have things like a lottery to see whether you can revive. It's a bit kind of morbid. Yeah, the low passage, we'll sell that. I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll re-roll. We'll roll on this again. If we sell that, we get some cash. Let's do that again. So let's see if we can get a more decent mustering out benefit. 3. In that case, that's plus 1 education. So not fantastic, because we already had. That's going to be a B now. Okay, so that's that character done. Effectively, she comes out of the merchants, age 26. She's probably quite grumpy about it, because hard times, economic reasons. I'm sure she got the kind of the usual soft story from the Merchant Marine. It's not our fault. It's the economy. There you go. Okay, right. Let's leave Saria for the moment. When you look at her overall skill set, it's not exactly fantastic. She might not be very strong on the combat side. We might have to use her much more as a specialist. She's quite sharp, intelligent. Some of these things she could help out with. A social side. In my campaign, I'm going to have all these attributes being quite important in the day-to-day interactions. So the characters are not just their skill set; it's what their attributes are and their personality. How we can play with that. So let's do Bastion. We'll just do it in order. So we have Bastion, Benez, and he's from this desert world called Bifrost. He's going to go for army, and he is our only male in this party. He had a cautious outlook, and just as a quick reminder what that means, I've got it in my little list. Cautious 43, thinks before acting, often avoiding unnecessary risks. Well, to me that's almost like common sense, really. Maybe he's just a bit cautious in life. He doesn't take too many risks. Maybe it's quite a good idea if you're in the army. He's not kind of gung ho when he goes into action. He's quite a thoughtful person. Yeah, I would say that's more a positive rather than, quite often, like when like in wargaming, you get a cautious general, and they usually get like a downer. But some cautious generals are very good. I would say like Wellington was quite a cautious general, and he seemed to do fine. Okay, well, Montgomery, he could classified as cautious, and he always waited for overwhelming strength and odds in his favour. I think that's quite a good idea. And a general, sometimes you don't have to be the flashy Napoleon all the time. It does help, but you don't have to be. So he's cautious. Our service history, we'll just have to quickly note that down. So it's in the same format. Term 1, and we'll have our age here. Young, impressionable 18-year-old, about to be launched into the heady world of the army. Intelligence, education, social, and again, what we do with Bastion, because he's going into the army, we'll have a quick look at his pertinent attributes. And I think we did this as an example, so it should jump off the page, this one. I think we had endurance and education as being the two that would classify. Dexterity only appears once, and that's the only idea on roll +1. It looks like endurance is important to get in, and I always think if you have a positive for survival, it must be quite important for that particular profession. So let's go for education and endurance as the two that we get the 3 dice. So we'll start with his strength. Get the traveler dice out. 2d6, so he gets a 6 for strength. Not fantastic. Dexterity, we get 2d6 for dexterity. Oh, not great. Yeah, we probably wanted heavy on the physical side, but there's always the chance of having a bit of self-development. And then endurance, we put in our magic 3rd dice, take the best. So what do we get? Oh, okay, that's good. It's done the business. We've got a 9. And I think with a 9, do we get bonuses? Yeah, all good. So we get an enlistment bonus, and we get a commission bonus. Good stuff. Intelligence, we'll get our 2D out. 7, average. So he's kind of like Joe Average just now. And education, we get our magic dice in again. Excellent. Yes, that's what we need. C. That's exactly what we needed. He's highly educated. Maybe he's gone to a pre-college, a military academy. Yeah, that's probably what he's got. Let's see what his social is, because that might dictate whether he's gone to like a kind of West Point type, Sandhurst would be the sort of thing we'd have equivalent in the UK. 3, no, maybe he got in on the scholarship. A 3 social is like kind of the dregs, the underclass. It's way down there, so he's really maybe from quite a poor background. Maybe he's been plucked out as a potential officer candidate, highly educated. He's got a scholarship, gone to the military academy. He's primed and ready. We're primed and ready to go for enlistment. Okay, into the army. So it has an enlistment roll of 5+, and we get a +1 if we have a dexterity of 6. So our dexterity is 5, unfortunately, but we have an endurance, a remarkable endurance of 9. So we smash that one, we get a +2, so it's a 3+. So we have just seen Saria get a 3. So these things could happen. Got too many dice in there. Let's see what we get. 3+, easily. So he easily gets in. Obviously the military, it's just almost like the military college has just fast-tracked him. So he gets into turn 1, and that's good. So he'll automatically get, and we'll come to this with the skills, some basic training. But let's see how he fares in army life. So survival, and you need you get a +2 DM if you have an education of 6+, and again he easily does that because he's got a C. He's got a 12 education. He's highly educated. Maybe they're fast tracking him for officer, like officer training corps. Let's see how he gets on. We're going to be at 3+ to survive. Surely, Bastion can do it for us. He gets a 5. That's 2 over. Maybe there was a weak. I think we can maybe just maybe give a wee bit of nuance, because he's not had a lucky escape, but he's been pretty close to something. So let's just, out of interest, see what kind of action he's been involved in. Yes, it's always quite entertaining. We can have that kind of leeway if it's in the ballpark of being over. He's got a 1 and a 1. He would have been severely injured in action, so he has been involved in action. So he's been involved in a unit action in his first term, but he never got anywhere near being hurt. Maybe some he came under fire. That's probably, he maybe got the kind of like the Purple Heart or something, came under fire. His unit performed well. He might have already got some kind of leadership role there. He's kind of cut his teeth in that first instance. So that's the survival roll out of the way. He's been in action already, that's nice. And then we have a chance of commission. And if he has an endurance of 7+, he gets +1. So his endurance is 9, so we get +1. And we need a 5+, so that's a 4+ to get a commission. So he is being primed, fast-tracked for this. So let's see if it pays off. Yes, he gets the, it's nothing fantastic. It's almost like he's expected to get the commission. So turn 1, he gets a commission. And in fact, I'll just make a quick note that he's been in action. under fire, but no injuries. So he gets a commission. What we can do also in our first term is that we can also, so he becomes a lieutenant in the army, and now he goes for a promotion, and we've got a good chance of rapid escalation in the army because you know, it's not a high threshold for promotion, and also we have a very good education, so we're always going to get a +1. So you know, if we just sit the exams every term, we should, you know, theoretically be able to get up to all sorts of levels if we stay on for a while. So let's go for a promotion. It's a +1, so that's a 5+ to get a promotion. Ooh, just. So we only just scraped a promotion. So maybe they're not quite sure about Bastion yet, whether he's got what it takes to lead a unit. Because by being a captain, you're in charge of a company. You know, it's much different from a lieutenant who is basically can look to their captain for leadership. You know, so he's maybe just scraped through the exams. He's maybe they've been humming and hawing a bit about whether he has got what it takes. He's got the mettle to be a captain, but he makes captain, so he is promoted to captain. And I've got lieutenant there. So that's a fantastic. You know, if you wanted to start to a career, that's almost picture perfect. A wee bit close maybe in some of the survival stuff. He's had a run in. He's maybe not walked it as far as getting to captain, but he's got there in the end. So yeah, he's done the tortoise thing. He's got there in the end. Now, when it comes to actual skills, this is interesting because rank and service skills come in as well. So let's do the basic skill eligibility. And for initial term of service, we get 2. So that's 2. Upon receiving a commission, we get 1. That's good. Upon receiving a promotion, we get 1. So he has a pool of 4 skills to get. And we also get what are called rank and service skills, which accrue automatically as we go through our career. And in the case of Army, he will, as part of his basic training, get Rifle 1. And because he becomes a lieutenant in his first term, he gets SMG 1. So he gets intensive training. He's got 6 skills. So we'll do Rifle 1, SMG 1. So that's his service skills, rank and service skills. And now what we can do is our 4 acquired skills that we get as part of our service life. And these are, I would say, let's go for 1 off each. We'll have a bit of personal development, we'll have our service skill, and we'll have our advanced education. Sorry. Advanced education on this table, and then we'll do our special advanced education. Okay, so let's roll on 1 of each of those. This is a great start to Bastion, and he's done really well in his first term. It's jolly good. Captain Benez. So let's find out what he gets as far as personal development's concerned. He gets a 3. That is +1 endurance. Great. So we get +1 there, so that becomes an A, which is stands for 10. On the service skills side, let's see if he gets any interesting skills here. We got a 5, blade combat. So we'll immediately choose a blade. And I would say the standard, the army probably use bayonet, maybe bayonet, or let's go for blade. Either blade or sword. I would say, although he might be going for the foil because he's kind of officer. Let's go for sword because he's gone into the officer class already. So he's got it's blade, and we're going to have sword. Sword 1. Okay, that's good. That's 2 down, and then we'll do advanced education as part of army life. He gets a 6. Gun combat. So again, we choose a gun. Let's get our rifle up a bit. We've got up to rifle 2 here. So we're getting some intensive rifle training. And then we'll probably go on a special course as part of our first term, and try to learn, maybe go into a specialism, and take a few months out and see what we can. Maybe we're going to learn some tactics or leadership skills. Let's see what happens. So he does this special course. He gets a 4. All right, so he's gone into the information technology side of the army. He's got computer. That's going to become very useful. So we've got computer here. Computer 1. Okay, so that's a good start. Right, we come to the all-important re-enlistment role. Now the army is quite tough, so this might be a short and meteoric career, 7+. So it's not a given. It's not a given. This we need the average or more. So let's see what Bastion gets and see whether he is successful in his re-enlistment. He gets a 10. So that's a 3+. That's a 3 more. So we kick in on our re-enlistment triumph. Run round, give us a lap of honour. A high re-enlistment positive role means that the character is in demand. Maybe war. Let's say war's been declared. Business, not business. Opportunities are maybe opening. It's not a new division. A breakthrough. So it's probably either going to be in demand, war, opportunities. So let's do the 3 between that. So he gets war. So war's been declared. So he's involved in a war. So there's a demand for him to stay. They need good captains that have proved their mettle, and he fits the bill. Okay, well, I think I've probably done enough for this particular session. We'll leave Bastion at the end of term 1. We'll get cracking on with term 2 first thing in the next session. Now that we've got a bit of a head of steam, now we should be able to get through the other 2 characters rapidly in succession. I think that's quite he's quite an interesting character. Obviously, maybe his caution is helping. He's maybe. And his studious intellect, his education is starting to accrue benefits. The fact that he's got high endurance now, that's really going to help him with survival. He could be onto a good career. There's always the risk again with the army that you fail this re-enlist, because I think out of all of them, they have the highest threshold to get back in. But captain, it's that he can call himself captain in life. A 22-year-old captain. In fact, he's going to be at least 26 because he's been taken into the next one. Okay, let's finish there, and I will speak to you next time. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.